Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Alan Wake 2, where we return to our investigation, where it seems as though the people that have been captured by the darkness, in the lake, seem to be being spat out of the lake, and then ritualistically murdered, having holes in their hearts similar to the hole in the chest of the Dark Woman of Alan Wake 1. And Saga Anderson, FBI agent over here, seems to think that the chest cavity is then filled with something. We still need to wait for the morgue for that to happen. The city coroner is out of town, so Saga will be doing that side of the business. For now, though, we are at Oh Dear Diner, which was the start of Alan Wake 1, when Alan received the keys to the lake house that would eventually, well, not eventually, it would quickly spell his doom. For now, though, let's see if we can get a cup of coffee. Please pay at your table. Delicious drinks. Fantastic burgers.
You know how touchy these rural types can be.
Well, let's take a look at these prices. Let's see, $4.50 for a hamburger. Let's see, is that just for the burger? This was lettuce, tomato, and fries? It's not bad. It's not bad. $2.50 for a coffee. $4.99 for a milkshake. $2.50 for a soda is average for restaurants, but still a little bit on the high side. $12.99 for a Grand Slam breakfast. That better come with all the bells and whistles. Oh yeah, the city folk that are witnesses to the murder are here.
Hey, how's it going?
The jukebox is out of order. The poor old thing can only take so much of the same song being played over and over and over. I'm as big a fan of Coconut as the next person, but come on. Alas, Thor and Odin of the old gods of Asgard pushed this jukebox over the edge.
Excuse me. I'm Agent Saga Anderson. Are you the Bookers?
That's us. I'm Tammy, and he's Ed.
Hello, officer.
Just Saga is fine, Ed.
So, are we being charged with anything? Because if not, we'd love to get back to our hotel and decompress after what we saw. Take a bath, scream into pillows, that kind of thing.
We're not charging you. I just have a few questions. Nothing to stress about, okay?
Why were you over at the lake?
What were you doing at Cogent Lake last night?
I'm a writer. True crime. We're here from New York, doing some research on a famous novelist, Alan Wake, who went missing here. I was down at the lake, getting some details. Perfectly legal.
Can you tell me what you saw? Be sure to be loud enough so that it ruins that person's breakfast and that person's breakfast with the gory details.
So what did you see in the woods?
This naked dude came out of the lake, and he was acting crazy, shouting weird shit at us. He must have been on something.
Unless skinny dipping at dawn is a thing around here.
Then we heard shooting. We ran into these psychos in deer masks. They were tearing into the naked guy with knives, like some kind of satanic cult. And then we bolted and called the cops.
Why do you think it was a cult?
What makes you say it was a cult?
The masks and knives aren't enough.
The masks, yeah, that's a little...
They were shouting, "Cult of the tree, the cult of the tree."
How do you know they were a cult? Because they kept calling themselves a
And
cult.
then we found out. The whole thing was terrifying. That's all.
Hold on. What did you find? Let me just stand here. Don't mind me while I'm taking a look in my mind palace.
The cult of the tree. What are the bookers telling me?
Oh, sorry, mind place.
The symbol is 2 triangles.
The cult wants their spruce tree bag, Tammy.
Finders keepers, Ed. My publisher will want this on the cover.
Tammy found something. A necklace belonging to one of the cultists. The bookers were at Cauldron Lake. Why?
The fence was built to hide what's there. They say the rider fell in the lake.
Private party. No trespassing.
My book has questions. Past the bolt cutters.
They broke in for the sake of Tammy's book. Nothing to do with a murder. They were telling the truth.
I think you found... Also, it's interesting that the question that is being presented is then said differently. Like, why is this... Like, I think you found something is a valid sentence. But Saga is not going to say, I think you found something. Maybe tell me what you found. What did you find out there?
So you found something there, right? A necklace these cultists may have dropped.
Okay. Wow. How did you put that together?
It's evidence. You need to hand it over.
Yeah, how do you explain your psychic hunches? Which I feel is even more clues that Saga is herself a fictional character.
Do me a favor. Stick around town for now in case we have any more questions.
Like we'd even dream of missing dear
Oh God. Saga! Saga Anderson. As I live and breathe.
Pink waitress
I
lady.
thought we'd never see you back here after that awful, awful thing happened to your baby girl. How are you? I'm sorry. Who are you? I don't know what you're talking about. It's me, silly. Rose. You know me.
I don't think I do. And what horrible thing happened to my baby girl?
She drowned. Your daughter. That's so weird you don't remember.
How do you know I have a daughter?
Oh, I know what this is. You're blocking out your traumatic memories. Happens
Okay,
on
we're really-
TV all the time.
No.
We're really going to the heart of the matter.
You're mistaking me for someone else.
Who's also named Saga Anderson.
If you say so.
But Remedy does love its meta-narratives. I don't know. That pie isn't the most interesting to look at, though. Maybe I'd go for a muffin. Those donuts, maybe not, but... Or maybe it's one of the... It's like the diner pie. It doesn't necessarily need to look good, but you know as hell it's going to taste good. Ooh, actually, let's go take a look in this back room where the darkness first confronted Alan Wake. Can I even open any of these doors?
It doesn't budge.
Huh. Alright, you can kind of sort of see your reflection. A little bit bizarre. I wonder what that has to do with anything.
I need something to force this open.
Do I need something? Do I really need to break into the back of the Oh Dear Diner?
Rest easy, buddy.
Oh dear. Teamwork makes the dream function. That is the only thing on that's a pretty empty board. Nobody is using it.
All set. My guys have Nightingale at the morgue if you're ready to go take a look.
Oh, that was pretty
go.
fast.
Well, Casey, I got a lead. Looks like we're dealing with a cult. The cult of the tree.
A murder cult. Fuck.
Have you heard of this cult of the tree, Sheriff?
Only the urban legend. If you're in the woods at night, the cult will get you. That sort of thing.
We're not gonna find out you're the Grand Wizard or something, are we?
I played some D&D back in the day. Wizard was always my favorite class.
Morning, Sheriff. Looks like you have some guests.
Ah, morning, Ted. Yeah, real important guests. Deerfest. Always draws a crowd, right?
Too true. More the merrier. Have a good one, Sheriff.
What kind of construction is going on here?
Hey, what do you know about that waitress from the diner?
Rose? Yeah, she's a bit of a space case. Always has been. Why? What'd she do now?
She kept saying that my daughter drowned. She even knew my name. It was all very weird.
Rose has a talent for saying the weirdest thing possible.
Was Rose in the first game touched by darkness? And because of that, she has... I forget what happened to the waitress in the first game.
Hey, boss.
Hold on one second.
It's downstairs ready to go.
Right. Rose was the waitress in the first game that was touched by the darkness, by the lady specifically.
Lead the way, Sheriff.
But she went on to survive and not end up trapped in the lake.
This is the Bright Falls Sheriff Station. Anything you need, just let us know.
We appreciate the support, Sheriff.
So in a sense, she's a little bit more aware of the narrative than the people around her, without necessarily knowing she is in a narrative. Helmets save lives.
Next door. It's a shoestring budget. I guess you guys don't have that problem, though. Our only coroner rotates between a few other towns, and he's away this week. But you can handle this, right?
I'm qualified to perform examinations. Yes.
Something about morgues. They always cheer me up.
I can't say I feel the same.
He's joking.
A little bit of a morbid sense of humor, but I suppose you might need it. Like, a lot of doors that the game is like, hey, you can try this door, but the plot is going in this direction.
Let's take a look at our patient.
I think
I'll
your
start with the
patient is
external
dead.
inspection before performing the internal examination. What was the cause of death?
Probably the
What other
gaping
clues the
heart
body give
wound.
me?
Defensive wounds. They put up a fight.
This looks like text. A tattoo?
Nightingale didn't strike me as a tattoo guy.
The cult wouldn't have had time to tattoo Nightingale. That would have had to be applied during his time in the darkness.
The body shows signs of being submerged in water post-mortem. It doesn't add up.
But he wasn't found in the lake. If he was submerged in the water post-mortem, that means that they would have had to carry his body from the place to the lake and then bring it back.
There's writing on here.
There's
Can't make it out.
writing on his heart.
How'd they manage that?
Okay, so that implies it's most likely done in the darkness. That he is emerging from the lake with the manuscript tattooed to himself.
Aha. They did leave something inside his chest. Time to see what Nightingale's body can tell us.
Anything to learn from the body? Cause of death? Chest ripped open, something visible inside. Did the killers write this on the heart? How? I can't make out what it says. Victim was alive when strapped down. Timeline is inconsistent with the bloating.
That's not right. Text is smudged. Looks inverted. Heart can't have been marked before removal. There's definitely something in his chest. Did the killers leave it there?
Hmm.
Finding a Casey movie lunchbox out here can't be a coincidence.
Especially since we found the document. Cauldron Lake area? Do I have another clue I'm sitting on? Yes. Killer profile.
We're dealing with an organized group of killers, not a lone serial killer.
Oh my gosh. So many, like, it's all the same case.
I need to know more about the Code of the Tree if I'm going to shut them down.
Okay, yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. What have we got? We've got cult necklace. Some kind of cult. Yeah, that seems fitting evidence for that branch. We're wearing deer masks. Triangle figures made from twigs. No, not there. Like here. Thank you. All right.
These stashes could contain clues about the cult.
Or it could also contain guns and ammunition. This case is closed?
The Cult of the Tree is behind these murders.
Oh, okay.
This case just became much more complicated.
Good job, us. We've solved the case.
But it's my first cult case. Exciting.
I suppose it makes sense to start a new file from here because you're not asking the same questions. You know the murder method, the killer profile. You don't have to ask the questions about these victims. You have a new folder just for this cult. Saga, you couldn't put on
We
gloves?
found at Cauldron Lake.
At least wash your hands when you're done.
Nightingale hunted Saga. Didn't see her. The Taken could not see into bright light. Light hurt them, made them vulnerable. Nightingale had no heart, but here he was, killing.
Someone's created a fucked up fantasy about us.
Hey, hold on. We found these kinds of pages. I didn't think they were relevant to this case. I have them right here.
Are they from the first game?
No, wait.
Sheriff?
What the
Show me the clicker.
My gun! Also, the clicker is just a light switch, as seen in Alan Wake 1. If he's trying to find the clicker, does that mean that he's trying to destroy the weapon that Alan Wake used to defeat the darkness in Part 1?
bright light?
My gun! Oof.
I'll make you pay.
It's the same type of page from Cauldron Lake.
He's coming. No weapon. The page said to get into the light.
Try to stay in the light to avoid being detected by enemies.
He can't see me in the light.
Oh, great.
My gun's out in the hall. Gotta get it back.
Safe havens will restore some of your health. If you leave or attack from a safe haven while in combat, it will become temporarily unavailable.
Now.
He was right across... He was across on the other side of the room. Okay, is this a forced stealth sequence? I think this might be a forced stealth sequence. Ah, shit. Why is the... Can we skip really quickly? Okay.
Can't be opened on this side.
Oh, great.
My gun's out in the hall. Gotta get it back. Vanished. He didn't have a heart, but he still got up. The page predicted all of it. It helped me fight him.
He just disappeared? What the hell is going on here?
We need to figure that out if we're gonna do anything about it. Somehow we need to make sense of this.
We were attacked by a
There's no rational explanation to
dead
what we just
man.
saw.
I'd love to blame this on mass hallucination caused by inhaling volcanic gas, but we both know that's bullshit. This was supernatural.
Well, I'm glad you were the one to say it. Now we can figure out a way forward.
What happened to the sheriff, actually?
Right before things got crazy, Sheriff Breaker just vanished.
Maybe the sheriff knew more than he was letting on.
He seemed anxious, like he dreaded what was coming. One more mystery.
What if most of the town is fiction? Like an invention of Alan Wake's? Is this the work of the cult?
The victim of a ritualistic murder turns into a monster. Is there a connection?
Looks to me like the cult of the tree is performing rituals to create monsters.
Maybe.
An interesting leap of logic,
We need to start with
especially
learning
since we've only discovered one of them, but hey.
There's one of the pages on.
Saga was back at Cauldron Lake. Saga had to pursue Nightingale into the overlap. Finding a way in would be difficult. A ritual. Saga would learn how. Stop the monster.
Let's see. Nightingale attacked us somehow.
Dead man turned into a monster. Light as a way to fight him. Pages predicting the future. There's no rational explanation. This is the case we must solve.
I feel like the writing in regards to Alan Wake's storyline functions less like a novel and more like a guidepost. Like, if you look at Alan Wake 1, the pages of the manuscript felt more like the novelization of the storyline of the game. Whereas I feel like Saga had to pursue Nightingale into the overlap. Like, we're getting these, like, vertical slices that are almost meant to be transitions between scenes, rather than the scenes themselves. Didn't I? Ah, son of a...
Finding a Casey movie lunchbox out here can't be.
Because I died. All right, I'm just gonna skip this part. Okay, victim of cult killing become a monster. Whatever the ritual is being done. Nightingale was the only victim to become a monster, which is why I kind of question Alex Casey's logical jump. But writing would have to be part of the ritual, because that is how, like in the DLC for Alan Wake, Alan was able to write words to create objects. The writing had power. Let's go back to Cauldron Lake.
The page places Nightingale back at Cauldron Lake. Calls him a Taken. We need to head over there, stop him, before anyone else gets hurt.
Okay.
And that's, I think, leads to one of the interesting differences between Alan Wake 1 and 2 now. Is because Alan Wake 1 is like, you're still trying to piece... Like, it takes a while, and you're still trying to be like, okay, is this real? Is this fiction? What is actually going on? Is the darkness in his head? And there's a bit of gaslighting by a known psychiatrist or psychologist who wrote a book and treats people with treats creatives with issues. And he tries to convince you that it's all fiction, but it's there that you discover it's reality, and that's a good like halfway into the game. And right now, in like one chapter, we're already being like,
Okay. Did you get spooked by the bodies?
Sheriff Breaker disappeared. Nightingale turned into some sort of a monster, and there are offices down. You two handle things here. We need to get back to Cauldron Lake immediately.
what happened to her?
That's terrible. We'll do what we can, man.
I guess killed by Nightingale? Still, like, why is it that she died, but the sheriff just disappeared?
How could he do anything? He's dead.
Yeah, right.
Well, now you're hitting the heart of the matter.
Monsters aren't real and
I need something to cut this.
disappeared. Like poof, he's gone like magic.
Did I just get some, like, 5-hour energy drink?
Monsters aren't real.
Magic ain't real. It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus. Also, it's interesting that this game has such a slow burn beginning to it. Like, we've played for about an hour and a half now. To be fair, some of that time was me reading the text aloud, which slows it down. So let's cut out a half hour. Let's say me not reading could have
Oh dear, I am a tourist, and it appears that I'm lost in the woods. You've only had a tour guide also. It's bear season. Oh no, a bear. Help.
Yeah.
Did somebody call for a tour guide? Oh wow, Koskela Brothers Adventure Tours. Unforgettable tour experiences at affordable prices. That's right, I'm Ilmo Koskela, voted best coffee roaster / tour guide by Coffee World magazine, and I'm here to give you the tour of a lifetime. But Ilmo, I've heard the government has seized and restricted access to many local nature attractions. That is true, Jaakko. Many local
Jaakko?
attractions have recently become fenced off by the government. And that's why, at Koskela Brothers Adventure Tours, we say, fuck the government. We have bolt cutters. Oh wow, you think of everything. And we'll take you anywhere. Hiking through the scenic Elwood National Park. Fishing in the crystal clear waters of Bright Falls Dam. Bird watching at majestic Mirror Peak. The tour of a lifetime is just one phone call away. Book now to get a 9% discount on this limited edition Oh Dear Diner.
9% off. That's a highly specific. Oh dear. Oh my, look at these computers. Yeah, take that, you office chair. Bet you like it when I sit on you. Are you playing Galaga? You're not even doing anything. You're just on the login screen. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna take that. Don't mind me.
Good day.
Hello. Can I take a muffin?
My client has been held here long enough.
Ooh, a map.
Are you gonna let me?
Hmm. Like it feels even odder to be wandering around behind the and just looting their office. This is the third time this week I come in for a late shift and there's no coffee in the machine. You take the last cup, you brew a new batch. Chet, I hate to break it to you, but you need to have a face capable of growing a beard to make effective use of beard oil. I knew Marco's beard was too soft to be natural. What brand is he using, Lucy? Oh, hold on. We're going backwards. Hey gang, the annual event you've all been eagerly waiting is upon us again, the Community Outreach Barbecue. Now, I don't want to hear any grumbling. This is a valuable opportunity to connect with the community. Statistics show that officers who are well integrated with the communities they serve see lower instances of violent crime in their precincts, are more effective in their policing, and have overall better mental wellness. This is for your benefit, so take it seriously. The community voted drunk take victim this year will be Deputy Thornton. Congratulations. Looks like everyone's getting retribution for that speed trap on 12C at last, eh? A friendly reminder that anyone out sick on the day needs to provide a written doctor's note or you'll be assigned a night shift for 2 weeks. Anyone who replies all to complain about their assignment will be volunteering as the assistant for Officer Lightfoot's magic routine. The front desk computer and admin email are not to be used for personal quarrels or other unofficial business. And remember to wash your coffee mugs. Since my numerous friendly reminders about not having personal packages delivered to the station have gone unheeded from here on out, if you've seen fit to send something to the station, I will see fit to announce to the station what you have received. Is it a federal offense to open someone's mail? Yes, it is. Is it a personal offense that I need to share my desk space with your late-night impulse buys? Yes, it is. You have been warned. P.S. Officer Lightfoot, your beard oil is ready for pickup. Okay. Ooh, let's take a look at this burger. Look at this. Could use some cheese. Not the most attractive burger.
I can't force it open.
Oh.
How many times do we have to do this, Walter? Huh? I'm at my wit's end.
I want out! Something bad's going down. I can feel it. Let me out!
I mean, you're right.
Do you think I like throwing you in jail every other day?
Yes.
No, I don't. Do you have any idea how much paperwork?
I know one of you is stealing the toilet paper. I've been counting them, and there's an entire roll missing every day from stock. Theft is taken seriously around here. It's a sheriff's station, for Pete's sake. One of these days, I'm going to catch you red-handed, and you better believe you're getting thrown out. What a disgrace you are. What kind of nut counts toilet paper rolls? Sounds like you've got too much time on your hands.
Nightingale and his cult are dangerous. We need to be prepared in case things escalate more than they already have. Can you call it in, KC?
A smart choice, Anderson.
What are you going to call in? Like, hey, we're fighting zombies.
We need backup. The Bright Falls case, whoever you can spare. ASAP.
Oh, he didn't even have to give an explanation.
The pages haven't been wrong yet.
We can't assume the person writing these pages isn't playing us.
I agree.
Is she the log lady? And by log lady, I mean lamp lady. What are you hiding from? What are you... Mayor Setter won't roll over on the issues. I'm wondering whether I should turn off the motion blur, because I feel as though the motion blur is a little bit aggressive in this game. And you can tell mostly when you're zooming in on specific, like, text. The car can be used to travel between locations.
Clock out, get a beer. Or maybe 3.
All right. on to Cauldron Lake again. So it's not quite an open world game like the original was supposed to.
Why Nightingale was here 13 years ago. He was chasing a writer, Alan Wake.
Tammy mentioned him. She's writing a book on his disappearance.
You know the detective character from his books, Alex Casey.
Yeah, I've heard the jokes at the office. Cold case Casey. Murder case Casey. Sorry.
Ha. It's the same name, similar job. It's the first thing anyone thinks of. It annoyed me, but that was it. Then, 10 years ago, I started getting strange letters in the mail. Fragments of prose describing murders. You've heard the stories about what happened in New York. Some of it, at least. Bodies started to pile up. It was a murder cult. Turns out the fragments sent to me were from the crime books of Alan Wake. The cult was copycatting the murders from the books. In their heads, they were performing a ritual to bring Wake back. Their imagined prophet. After that case, I started looking into Wake's disappearance on the side.
And you thought this case might be connected to him? His name does keep popping up.
Is Alan Wake creating a series of murders in order to restore himself?
Next time, before we find ourselves in the middle of a horror story. The page says Nightingale's in something called an overlap. Need to figure out exactly what that means.
I'm happy I'm not in charge of this mess.
Thanks.
But it's
Start looking for Nightingale where he was killed.
but it's very convenient that you're walking in a direction, so I can follow them.
Because they're behind this, or because they can see what's coming. Impossible things are happening here. A world operating on different rules. I need to understand this strange life.
But you're accepting the rules
See the clues.
quickly enough.
The
Like,
case.
you're going straight from Nightingale is alive and dangerous to let's believe the text.
I've
Like,
been thinking more about the cult of the tree. What sort of cult refers to themselves as a cult?
In my experience, they don't.
exactly what I was
I'm
saying.
not seeing the full picture yet.
Like, you know they're a cult because they say they're a cult.
Hey, hello there.
Hey.
How are you folks doing?
Oh, we're alright.
Hello, Saga Anderson. Are you two supposed to be here?
I'm Ilmo Koskela.
That's the tour guide.
Stephen here hired me to show him through the woods. He's in town on important government business. Fixing this impressive piece of hardware.
I work for the FBC, ma'am. I'm authorized to be
The
here.
Federal Bureau of
You
Control.
were here about that murder.
Does she know what the Federal Bureau of Control is?
How did you hear about the murder, Ilmo? Do you know anything that could help us?
People tend to tell me things. The Koskela brothers are kind of a household name around here. Speaking of, if you're looking for some fun, stop by Watery. Just down the road from Bright Falls, there's our Coffee World amusement park. There's sauna ja vihta.
Oh, that explains everything.
Fishing, hiking, whatever strikes your fancy.
Like, I've heard comments made online that, like, Bright Falls is, the most, like, Finnish, American city ever. That being a game made in Finland, taking place in America. And the fact that he explains sauna, it just kind of fits that profile. All right, what else can we find out from this group?
What is this thing?
It's just a monitoring station, ma'am. The Federal Bureau of Control checks volcanic activity and air toxicity levels. No need to worry, though. It's mostly for research purposes.
That's one gorgeous weather saga.
Thank you.
Looks Nordic. I bet a family member made it.
My mother made this sweater.
My mother made this sweater for me.
Oh, that was almost exactly the same.
I knew it. My mom used to knit those sweaters for me and my brother. Watery, my hometown, was founded by Finnish immigrants. So between your name and the sweater, I figured your family might be from Finland too. Suomi, Finland. Pulla, Karjalan piirakka.
Close. My mom's family is from Sweden originally. I don't know much about them beyond that. The
Although,
sweater's just something to remember her by.
after Aughty in Control, like, I appreciate all of Remedy's desires to just push in a little bit more Finland culture into their games.
Stephen, we're investigating a murder that occurred nearby. What can you tell me about your bureau?
Nothing that isn't classified, I'm afraid. But I don't know anything about a murder. Operations here are run by a different department. I'm just here to make some repairs. The wiring on this thing frays every couple months.
Yep, that's the raccoons. They grow real big here with teeth like you wouldn't believe. Can't gnaw right through a garbage can.
Is that a raccoon
We're
still?
done for now. Let's get to the murder site, Casey. A lot of things about this case keep bothering me. But one thing feels really off.
Well, only one thing.
Breaker's disappearance.
Yeah, what happened to the sheriff?
I don't get the feeling Nightingale was responsible.
He was about to give you more of those pages.
Like Alan Wake wrote him out of the story.
Want us to have them? Or was protecting him from Nightingale? Spontaneous combustion? I don't know. Not the kind of disappearance we normally solve. Our crime scene's drowning. I never minded rain. Feels like home.
No sign of Nightingale. But the page did place him at Cauldron Lake, in an overlap. So how do we follow him there?
Maybe something around here will tell us.
After we find Nightingale, what then? I've never arrested a monster.
I've watched you arrest plenty of monsters, Anderson.
Very
You know what
nice.
I mean, monsters. Light worked against him at the morgue. That might be the only way to stop him from hurting anyone else. Monsters, overlaps, rituals. What do you make of all of this?
The killers are usually the ones performing the ritual, not the detective. Acting out their sick fantasy. They may be trying to get you involved, forcing you into their twisted world.
But with dead men coming alive, the word ritual starts to have more weight behind it. We need to look around, learn what this ritual is. We've seen this symbol before.
We have.
Good eye.
And they were drinking beer, those sons of bitches.
Bare feet. Nightingale. I'll see where these footprints lead. Can you comb through the crime scene one more time, KC? Just in case?
It almost sounds less like she's saying his name as in one word, and more as in two letters. Like, instead of Alex Casey, it sounds like she's saying KC. There's like a vague blur of... okay, the footprints do stand out pretty easily. Now, the overlap, would that be like our world versus that of the darkness? The Witch's Hut. Alright. Okay, I admit this is getting kind of spooky. I am slightly spooked. Friday. Midge told me today that her family's moving away. This sucks. I haven't even told her that I like her yet. What's the point anymore? She said her parents want to get better jobs and get her to a better school in a big city. I guess that's fair. Who wants to stay in Bright fucking Falls? Sunday. So I told her. She said thanks. Fucking kill me. Monday. I snuck out last night again. Went to the big house by the lake instead of just watching it from here like I always do. Instead of just sitting around like I always do. Screw that. Anyway, something weird is going on there. I'm going to find out what. Going to go back there tomorrow with better gear. I bet I can find a way inside the building. Take some photos. It's going to be epic.
Sure. The North Side Slasher. But that case was completely different.
The trees, Anderson. He hid the bodies in the forest.
The tracks lead into the water. Where'd he go from here? I can feel something. A presence. Nightingale isn't far.
You got me, video game. I knew you were gonna... I was like, I was stealing myself. I was saying, oh, this isn't gonna get me. Oh, how... Like, once the concentration builds, like, that's how Five Nights at Freddy's gets you. Is it builds up the anticipation. It builds up the concentration until you least expect it. That's how, Spooky's Haunted Mansion works. It lets you focus, it lets you concentrate, and then it gets you.
These aren't the same tracks that were here before. They're headed into the tree, not out of it.
You can toggle flashlight boost to increase damage to darkness and burn through dark substance.
My flashlight burned the dark stuff away. It was covering another page.
It does not seem like your flashlight restores itself.
The fuse was in place. Saga stepped into the witch's hut. Inside, a bright light. There were objects that stood out to Saga, as if the light had manifested them.
The witch's hut. Okay. I trust the pages to lead me to the overlap.
The fuse was in place. She had found it among the junk in the forest. Saga stepped inside the witch's hut. Something rushed through her, a presence, familiar. She couldn't quite place it. Something long forgotten. She tried to hold onto it, but it was already gone. Inside, a bright light, and objects that stood out to Saga, stood out from the dusty animal skulls and cauldron, as if the light had manifested them, pulled them from darkness. A shift in reality, heavy with hidden meanings, a coffee thermos, a shoebox, a mop and bucket, a poster on the wall, and in the cabinet, another manuscript page. Alright, so it looks like what we're getting from Alan Wake is summaries of the page. Okay, yeah, like here, the summary we got was like, just a couple sentences. Saga was back at Cauldron Lake. He was there too. Nightingale was but wasn't, a taken, a creature of darkness. He was beyond her reach, where some other strange reality, the dark place, merged with ours. This place and the dark place, a tarp thrown over top, drowning everything beneath it, a flood of darkness, soaking into everything, spoiling it, rotting it. The page called this area an overlap. Saga had to pursue Nightingale into the overlap. Finding a way in would be difficult, required precise steps, a ritual. Saga would learn how. Stop the monster, her job. Before he killed again, he'd be inside waiting for her. The autopsy room was a mess, like a bomb had gone off. Nightingale hunted Saga, didn't see her under the light, lurched past her. The Taken could not see into bright light. Light hurt them, hurt the darkness in them, made them vulnerable. I flick the switch, it goes click. Show me the clicker. Lights are off, but somebody's home. Hemingway brought you here, witch. Get out of my house, Nightingale shouted. A wave of terror crashed through Saga's head. The awful truth. Nightingale had no heart in his chest, but here he was, killing a monster. The world had lurched out of balance. You found yourself trapped on the far side of the mirror. The victim was one of their own, FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale, gone missing here 13 years ago. Now he had suddenly turned up, only to be murdered in a brutal and bloody ritual on the very day of their arrival. And then there was the page, this page, the first page they had found, not the last. The first step down into terrifying depths, secret truths trembling beyond the threshold. Reading the words, these words felt like a message. Was a message. Someone knew they were here, what they were doing. Someone playing a game with them, leading them on. An invitation. How could they not accept the sheer audacity of this impossible mystery presented to them, even if they knew it would end up hurting them?
I know Nightingale is somewhere around Cauldron Lake.
The tree was a threshold. This place and the dark place.
Is it a coincidence that it's called a mind place and not a mind palace?
Caldera Street Station.
The threshold, like a doorway, leading to Nightingale. It's somehow connected to a tree. Witch's Ladle?
All right, so this is where I'm going to stop for the night. Got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.